Alive. Yeah, this is just a voice because I'm not very well to go face public on YouTube. Disabilities life trying to live in peace. Okay, I'm about to quote on this date of a serious, and I mean serious evidence of, I've got an email confirming this, and this will be, I think it might be the first for United Kingdom. And this will be made public on Ministry of Justice website. The local sentence advice individuals emailed some information on what he's put, because all the evidence since the offer and transfer from disability living allowance for my joint long-term permanent medical, physical, psychological disabilities. I got one over in 2009. By 2010, I was in a wheelchair. I was having up to 16 different females a week, 3 times a visit a day, before I started getting abused by certain individuals in my home. And over the years, I tried to hold certain public servants accountable. Moving on, I started having strokes for the effects of being run over. I didn't know that was neurological. And all these tests and stuff I've had over the years, they can't, I haven't recovered. I can't use my left side of the body, it's powerless, not recovered. I'm losing my right side of my body too now. And that's the effect of the calcium damage to my shoulder and limited right side. And this means that I might end up in the statute law UK, what's known as safeguarding, and it could be even to an urgent care environment. I knew this would come. And unfortunately, as I have been trying, since I severely had a serious situation, I ended up losing all my medical health, physical body functions, everything when I was in bed streaming my daughter-in-law going back September 2017. Ever since then, and then my dental health on top, and the cutbacks and services and adult health social care on top in my area UK meant I wasn't aware of the serious national effects of adult health social care cutbacks, and that means constant blocks to care advocacy services. This has been 3 times in a row last year, and on top, trying to get the care needs assessment in the lawful statutory duty of care to people like me seeking assistance to replace my private life friends who have been struggling constantly to care for me. They're doing the best they can. But since the cutbacks in the NHS, England funded medical services too for disabled people, I'm even more struggling than ever than before. It's all about what you can do, they say, in the personal independence, the daily living aspects, and your physical, psychological disabilities, how it affects you. But you don't have the insight because of severe effects of trauma, and that's from serious crime years ago, and all the serious, detailed reports of all this over the years. In my area over the years, by 2011, they discharged me off a CP care plan and just left me on medications, and I have not been offered any offer services. They just can't offer any cure to the serious diagnosis of the attempted murder of my life. And this is now, it's permanent, it's for life. Years ago, criminal injuries, same Ministry of Justice, Tribunal Service, court case, hearing, May 2011, I couldn't even travel to them because my physical reduction, wheelchair dependent, had offered and confirmed by expert top barristers and lawyers at the time. I was part of a national case at the time, you see, in a murder case, because the guy went on to commit murders in some part of the UK. And I ain't going to mention all that because it's still traumatising. So I'm, of course, on my medication for the effects of flashbacks daily, nightly, and the triggers effects, of course, on that on top. And then, of course, a physical reduction in my health. So you can imagine I'm battling with medications and the severe side effects of drowsiness, etc., onto my daily effect of my life. No longer can I do anything self-caring. I need all the support you can imagine I need. And yes, it's very costly now, isn't it? It's all about cut to care packages and care services than it is trying to give people independence in their own home. It's all about pushing people into institutional style environments now. I'm not too particularly bothered about that per se, because I need to be safe, I need to be properly cared for. But then again, when you're working age, it's all about what you can do, isn't it? Well, think about it big business wise. I would like to think one day I can move forward and get some kind of life and not be left the way I've been left unlawfully. I've tried my best to engage with these civil servants and public servants, especially in the adult healthcare. Not one took any consideration of the medical evidence. I cannot cope face to face with strangers in my home, let alone in offer meetings. It takes a lot of preparation with private friends, psychologically, over 2 hours to get me not just the personal care and all the transferring and all the high medical occupation therapy equipment. I've had all these reports, occupation therapy reports, since 2010 up to 2013. Nothing's changed on the use of the occupation therapy physical equipment. It's my reduction in my health and my right side of my body on top now that's caused me to have falls, caused me to end up in hospital. It's no one's doing this to me, it's just my physical body wearing out. And then it has a toll on your psychological health. So no, there isn't even talk and therapy. Rejected from that. When my friend did an online referral when my mum died last year, on top of going through this, trying my best to cope with all these 40 question pages of B9, B7 care act assessment, needs assessment. I had no clue what it's all about, and I was doing my best. And no, I didn't get it was like rushed every time. And then they kept delaying things during the summer last year of support. And then you had people go on holidays and they wouldn't replace a care advocacy, individual female, or a social worker. Made me wait weeks and weeks and weeks after the effect of the death of my mum on top. And I still didn't get any counselling and support for the death effects of my mum on top. So it triggered everything off again, didn't it? I found the help of my friend doing an online psychological mental health type service, thinking that would be assist me in the pathway forward as well, and then link into local public services in my physical care. And then on top, I've been severely left over 1 year, 9 months, not repairing my wet room. I've been targeted so badly and unreal, like thousands of people I've seen throughout the United Kingdom. But this is a way to push me out of my home. You see, any of the visits I've been getting over the period of 18 months, it would be, oh my gosh, you've got left in this condition and we need to do an adult safeguard referral. Well, there's no point because we're already in the system, and yet the cutbacks and services is not getting the right due process in place. I've been very good at masking my reality to cope, to get awake every day, to breathe in the next moment, to keep going, you know. You have to keep going. And it is mind over matter. So the trigger's always there. And I can't thank goodness the kindness of my private life friends who I feel they feel so heavily watched and pinpointed just because I can't pay them. And they had to step in an emergency basis back 2014 to stop me being abused by the paid carers. And the evidence was reported, and it's still going on with the local government healthcare ombudsman. trying to find somebody in their backlog in cases for people similar situations. So you see, I've covered every angle the best one can. And the fact when you get targeted like this, on top of what I'm about to say, is just about to trigger, you know, they want, what do they expect, these civil servants? They're public funded. So unfortunately, you can't help when people want to leave their jobs. And that's what happened in leading up to October 2018. You see, I have difficulty engaging face to face with unknown people, let alone in my own home, from past experiences. So why does it not take, when these certain public servants access my data, my medical data, by the way, and picking through it, but because our caseloads are so high in the social care side of things, they didn't even look at the fact why I couldn't cope with engagement of face to face, let alone in my home, because they just instantly blame me or self neglect or somebody else did it to me, which is not. And again, this is what happened to me back in 2017, and I fully able to prove the fact that's not going on. It's the constant pushing me out of my own bloody home just so it cut costs of the public purse to put me in an environment where it's not my choice or consent. So I've been trying to make do, and it's not great. By the end of last year, I offered to move out in a temporary hotel that would meet my needs logically, safely, and sensibly, and that was blocked by this National Housing Company, social housing individuals, no lawful grounds to, because I've got evidence of emails going back towards middle of 2017 end of that year, how they were going to fund me a temporary accommodation with, they had limited information to what my disability needs all along. I've got all the, as I said, occupational therapy reports before, and the old previous housing needs assessment reports by other public sector services, you name it, I had it done. And as I said, the use of the equipment's not changed. All that's changed is the deliberate not repairing my home. And I found from a certain individual acquaintance of mine from end of last year saying to me that flooring in the wet room would take only about £600 to get the new wooden floor, water floor taken away and re-put down, but it's more that now. Not once have I had an evidence of report to confirm what works need to be done by any of these National Housing Company individuals and subcontractor company employees ever. And in your national statutory housing law, secure tender, you have a lawful right to that. So there's no wonder the National Housing Ombudsman Service individuals have got this statutory complaint too. It's every angle in my life. They're targeting me. What? Because I'm complex in my health. It's not my own doing. You don't get us, get ill. I've had victimisation, discrimination constantly. And it's true what Disabled People Against Cuts on their website and people are saying about their blogs. It's true. Demoralisation of vulnerable disabled people, United Kingdom. And I'm a working age individual. So, when the former social worker left a job, I was left without anyone to replace her, despite an email dated 31st of the 10th, 2018, saying there would be. That never happened, did it? Leading up to that period of time, when I was offered to claim for a disability living allowance to the new horrendous system, isn't it? Personal independence allowance. When you're lucky if you've got family or friends to help you with all this horrendous procedure, or whether or not your face fits, it's postcode lottery. So the company contracted by Capita Business Services Limited, new office in London, changed your offices in April last year. April, May, June, it could have been now. But this is a call centre. It's an IT company. He didn't scan my private sensitive medical documentation in of evidence of the grounds to consider a pay-per-view, a pay-per-pit medical, on the conditional acceptance of their offer. And the fact that in the PIP Regulation Statute of 2013 states exceptional circumstances where the extreme risk, a critical risk to the well-being, and a severe categorization where it mentions what that risk is. And if it triggers off the trauma, your mental health, as in within employment support allowance support group, why do you think I'm in it? And the medical evidence grounds for that still stands. But no doubt they're going to trigger something else off. There's always something else that pops up. So, of course, I found back in 2013 the process of the person independent, the PIP, disability living, no, correction again, DNA, disability living allowance, much straightforward. I wasn't as ill then as I am now on the right side of my body. So I've deteriorated. And with the digital age, with everything computerized, you no longer get the human interaction of your medical GP. It's all computerized. You might get a Skype call, but I'm not on Skype. It's not like going to get a physical examination by a specialist. And don't forget me started on my medical evidence. I've been trying to get my medical records since last June 2018. Still not, they've been blocked. And despite my private friends, when they had the time to type a letter up for me or to try and help me in my paperwork, I can't do that anymore. And completely disadvantaged because of my high complex situation. I didn't get asked to get like this. So therefore, they're turning it against me, aren't they? It's evil and it's cruel. I didn't consent for a phone number to be put in or an email to put into this mandatory, this particular online news service. A computer makes a decision, not a panel of men and women as judges, civil servants, or Ministry of Justice Limited. So I found out. I wasn't informed by the local in my area, citizen advice individuals, and advice new manager that he'd been making this online appeal today. And what my private friends spent all half a Saturday and all day Sunday yesterday found all of the emails related to what the former social worker had done, who she spoke to, the dates, the times, and what was said by this Capita Business Services Limited as evidence of that. That gave me the ground to be considered for the mandatory correction. The Ministry of Justice of the tribe, I think it's the first tribunal service area. It's an offers and needs. It's all modernising the IT system these days, and I was absolutely in shock how this Citizens Advice employee had managed, finally, all these years and all these months, somebody read through the emails and read through the fine-tooth combs and saw the clear evidence. Unfortunately, it was horrific to read because it was like a flashback. Horrific to read your life like that. And that's no wonder these people give up. And their statistics in DWP Limited refusing to let the public know how many deaths there's been because of all this system and the universal credit and the ESA system. So the reason for appealing and the grounds for this is the failure of evidence or proof of that, acclaimed a mandatory reconsideration notice by computerization, came dated basically the 26th of February 2019. It did not contain one bit of evidence of the reasons why they could not change a decision to claim I failed to attend a PIP medical, dated the 25th of the 9th, 25th of the 10th, 2018 at 9:15 a.m. By the time I get my personal care and the side effects of medication, and then I'm decent, and if I'm well enough, I'll sit up in my wheelchair, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No way, totally impossible, can I do anything before 1 o'clock. And this has been ever since I've been wheelchair dependent, 2010. So when the previous years ago carers and the care plans had all that on previously, it's all on their computer system. I'm sure they show our data behind the scenes. Anyway, the fact when I was left without a social worker, and she was meant to sit on a PIP offer medical in my home. Well, it never happened because all along, going back 31st of the 8th, 2018, on the verbal offer during a care assessment meeting, she called up Capital Business Service Limited, Darlington call centre office, and got it confirmed that I would be offered a female Capita meant to be medical assessor trained in disability needs. One has a home visit. I didn't know the classification and lawful rights, the pay-per-view assessment, the grounds for that first at the time. And then, only then, was it claimed that I might need a new OT assessment of my own. And because of the nature of my unable to cope face-to-face alone, or explain or have insight clearly how my complex disabilities affect me daily in my life. It's always been like that. So that's why she offered to sit in my own and to maybe prompt me, and I'd try and do my best as a stranger, I wouldn't know. And I had the tape recorders, 2 of them ready for that day, to record the medical as well. Whenever I got the correct offer, but I never did. The first offer was to go 30 miles away to Coventry, Northamptonshire, United Kingdom. Impossible when I can't even go out my bloody home without the extreme support, and that's rare. And that's why I saw, hopefully by now, would have had a care needs assessment, and then whether or not, conjunction with NHS funding, I'll be offered any services or funding, and then could have a care planning report. And that would have been put in as additional evidence as well for the personal independence assessment process. Never happened. Wasn't completed still to date. So, unfortunately, by the 5th and the 6th of September 2019, I had a head injury, ended up in hospital. I think it was more than 24 hours. So, of course, that initial date offer for Coventry in the afternoon was cancelled on my behalf. I knew a former church friend and he knew somebody that worked in welfare rights but in their church and offered to assist me prior to that hospital stay. And as he did, I was able to text him, let him know I was in hospital, and he said, okay, I'll call up and cancel that appointment and clarify that they're still going to get this home visit for you. As it stated in my medical GP report, and I didn't know to inform my GP on mental health grounds as well, that I should be considered for a PIP medical on paper base of the clear factual evidence on record already present as well. Anyway, and then also alerted my next of kin at the time, my sister, miles away from where she lives, to inform her. I was then up in hospital. She misunderstood my text or something, and I said, my mates are struggling to care for me now, I'm so ill. Anyway, I got a text from the social worker at the time, and all she says, I hope you get better, let me know if you can still do an appointment for the next day. My gosh, there was no information. I could have cancelled that appointment on the 7th of the night, 2018. I was still suffering from concussion, and I was absolutely dopey and unsafe to travel. And I was put at undue duress and stress that day. And my mates were horrifically fuming. That's why they won't get involved in anything to do with this, with meeting with anybody, because of the way they're now being treated. And that's not me hiding anybody away. It's the fact protecting their privacy and right to that too. And that's why I've been trying to offer services to replace them, to get the right support now, how it can be offered and correct due process followed. Still not having. So because of those emails sent yesterday to this local sentence advice individual representative, he was quick to jump on board with that, very quick. It gave, as I said, the three offers I had. As I said, Coventry, impossible. But the next offer was literally day before my birthday, 24th of night, 2018, 11:55 a.m. Goodness knows why they ignored the evidence I was meant to have a home visit offer and lawful grounds for that afternoon. As I said, previously agreed on the 31st of the 8th, 2018, on the phone to the former social worker. I got an email confirming all this. And absolutely shocked by Capita Business Services Limited yet again. Why haven't they, their IT company, are not medically trained? Why on earth are they appointed a contract for Department of Works and Pensions Limited to assess vulnerable disabled people like the other two companies as well, United Kingdom? And then moving on, I was absolutely in a meltdown weekend, that particular weekend, because prior to that, the former church friend, when I got out of hospital, had offered again a meeting the 21st of night, 2018, in a particular Jesus type army cafe. And my friends had to plan the route and everything. As I knew my former old friend from the 1980s, I trusted him. And if it weren't for that, I don't know how I'd cope. But even then, with the paperwork, I couldn't cope one-handed in a wheelchair with all that. And he promised me who tried to assist, did his best. And that guy, my former friend's church friend of his particular religion, in his church, he helps other people in their income. He's an accountant by trade. And he called up Capital Business Services Limited call centre individual, spoke to a male, and he confirmed they hadn't seen my medical evidence, it's not scanned in, as a reason why I haven't been offered the home visit. And at that time, they admitted their failings on the phone to that man, and I heard the call. And I could be offered a paper assessment, medical, instead of a face-to-face. And that was a relief to hear that, because I was still waiting from a text or email by the social worker at the time, as she'd managed yet, between her work commitments as well, to get back to me if she's made any call. She never got back to me till late that evening, because I had to text her in front of 2 witnesses to remind her what's going on too, because she was down as my appointee, as my social worker at the time, a point of contact as well, you see. So I went home, expected to find a relief, until there's a letter to say offer of their business, Capital Business Service Limited, in the local medical building, and completely impossible, as I said, totally unsafe. And even the social worker knew this. The medical use of this sling, the hoisting, transferring, personal care, and I couldn't even get my friends to come earlier. It's unsafe for side effects medications too. And this has alarmed me, because that social worker had my medical notes and evidence of my situation, disabilities, how it affects me, etc., etc. And yet she was more concerned in emailing literally very late that night, implying, oh, I must go. I haven't heard anything back. She was panicking, basically. She said she took time off work to accompany me there. She knew it's impossible. So why on earth she was still trying to imply I should do that? No, my friends kindly advised me and stayed with me. I had 3 of them over the weekend, leading up to the Monday. And then they stayed on for my birthday, knowing full well this is a major trigger and trauma onto me. So it was claimed I got an email saying that she put a call into them, and she spoke to Sonia and claiming that there was a couple of people she claimed she spoke to in a mail. It's all in these emails anyway, as evidence of that, and who she spoke to and when and how, and why I still wasn't offered a home visit PIP medical. So that appointment was cancelled on the 24th of night 2018 on that basis. It wasn't me refusing. All the medical evidence was there during all these past year, during the process of the PIP form filling, and I still was trying to get the help and support with all that, and nobody would put their finger up to help me. And my friends were struggling to find the extra time between caring for me and their work commitments and family life. And during that time, I was getting pressure to extreme to have this OT assessment, with knowing full well I couldn't do that because all this took precedent. And where was that social worker to offer to sit down and help me go through this paperwork? Oh, it's not part of their job remit. I appreciate her making calls, but it's a major problem going through the paperwork and trying to find someone to assist me, let alone trying to get out some venue. What happens to vulnerable people? What about if you're bedbound, you're in hospital, God forbid, with serious conditions as well? What then? Where's the cutbacks of services going on for? These are my services throughout the United Kingdom. They're killing people off. And people give up, and it's too much for them. And the breach of the human rights, let alone the discrimination, let alone victimisation on top. So therefore, I don't know where I found the strength. I think it's sure my mum's DNA in me. The fact they didn't take consideration the bereavement, and they have my mum's funeral on the 10th of August 2018. None of that was taken consideration. I sought help from my GP, as I said earlier, because it triggered off my permanent and thought effects of my psychological disabilities as well, and making me physically ill. Thank gosh for my private life friends. That's all I can say. I didn't get any help from my adult son and daughter. I don't know what's happened to all that now. And so when you don't have family and the extra help you need, you're stuck on your own. Systems designed to screw you up and not help you, not make sure you're safe, not make sure you're lawfully got your rights protected. And I wish to goodness things could be different, but they're not. Moving on. I'd made it clear, unless I get the offer of support of housing employment support service, females that I know, to sit in on any meetings or offer of a OT assessment as well. And this is when, as I said, the social worker was going to offer to sit in on that medical and the PIP medical and OT assessment and the care act advocate too. I've got emails of all this. And then suddenly another contradiction email saying, oh no, that advocate service only for the care act advocate service assessment process, not for an OT. Hold on. I thought you said on the 31st of the 8th, 2018, that former social worker claimed the only reason for the OT assessment is what I can and cannot do. Well, hold on. The only thing I said is change is my right side of my physical disability, and that I'm looking to see what may or may not be offered. And now in night, I set the housing company individuals correctly, provide the evidence you need, any update medical information of me, because it's private data, isn't it? I'll limit access, but you've already got the last OT enough information to assist you to assist me. Well, they blocked my choice of temporary hotel I found. That was safe. That would meet my needs. I could have been there last summer, end of last year as well. And they could have finished off the Care Act needs assessment, and they could have offered the OT assessment there, and I could have had that flat repaired. And I wouldn't be in the situation as I am now. So they're negligent and they didn't offer that. So the local healthcare ombudsman services in Coventry, United Kingdom, has got the complaint on top of the housing side as well. Yeah, no wonder I didn't get off a replacement social worker. Had I stepped on somebody's toes? I don't know. But when you try to pursue and speak up for oneself, nobody else is going to, you get the door slammed in your face. And then in national cutbacks and adult access to specific services. It was all over the news. First of the 8th, 2018, going back, and I didn't even know how it would impact me, let alone anybody else. And what they've been doing nationally now is going around picking on individuals with two care packages and cutting it down to one when they think they can get away with it. So all their social workers around here has been concentrating on is that case situations of people rather than people like me. This is where I took on and found Hugh, the managing director, or the head of adult services and political as well. By the end of November, or beginning of that month, 2018, they found somebody to replace the former social worker. She used to work in a care home, and she had no experience whatsoever in like a complex disability joint needs. It was claimed that she would offer, I made it clear I need help with this disability, help with the PIP and making calls and help with the paperwork still. It was very urgent because suddenly then I got another letter. Because what happened after 24th of the night 2018, and when I was trying to find out what the social worker was doing on this care matter, it was so confusing with that going on as well. I had this letter by Capita Business Services Limited claiming, oh, you've got an appointment offer at 9:15 a.m. on the 24th of the 10th, 2018. Absolutely gutted. What the hell? And it was obvious that they hadn't looked at any of my medical evidence or scanned it all in. Got this confirmed prior to a previous meeting with a social worker and a care advocate individual, 20th of night 2018, when she made a call to find out what's going on with my documents and evidence and if they've been using it. Found out they hadn't scanned my GP report into their computer system and nobody's accessed it. Being an IT company, their call centre, why? You would have thought. It's my first experience in all this at the time, you see. So, moving on, when I had that letter, of course, by that time, I had the bombshell of an email saying the social worker's seeking a job. And she said, if you do get another letter or appointment, let the department that she works for know. And this so-called individual, meant to be a care manager, well, all the past year prior, claiming this individual called Susan, well, her email kept bouncing back to me, and nobody would admit if this Susan worked for the company, the care, social health care department. I got nowhere with that. So I was on my own trying to get the home visit offer, or while I was waiting for a replacement social worker, consider the offer of paper assessment PIP medical by Capita Business Services Limited and additional evidence medical. It's very, very, very private, psychological, detailed. Horrifically, I didn't want it to go out my medical records to this computerized company, Capita Business Services Limited. For the process to be considered, they did not even look at it. It's got the details how I cannot function in the way people without the PTSD and trauma-based and other conditions because of the serious, horrific crime still affects me all these years on, and how the diagnosis I've got, and I've just said kept on medications with the cutbacks and services in NHS too, how I'm struggling. So when they try and normalise the effects of trauma and mental health in the mainstream media as well, people are different. It's you try to cope on top of your physical reduction in your situation, but there's always this push to do what you can. I've tried and do my best. Every breath I minute I take. But it's not that easy. My physical body and its mind over matter. And I pray daily that one day I might get better, but I'm not and unstable, try the best I can in this serious neglect of duty of care in so many public services in the United Kingdom yet again. So when I didn't get a response from that 17th Wednesday, October 2018, letter with additional medical evidence of fact, and I didn't expect to have that cold calling at my door, the rude awakening, at 9:15 a.m. by Capita Business Service Limited individual. I found out a female. I got woken up by workmen outside my home doing some work, and I'm groggy, side effects, medications. I've got nobody here to make calls and to assist me because they're not due yet, and I couldn't get them any earlier. So I tried to text a social worker's mobile from my bed. I don't know, can't remember what text now because I was half asleep. And she put a call in to Capita Business Service Limited that day, individual call centre, and I've got an email confirming who she spoke to. Sonia, female, claimed to be a nurse assessor, and they said, well, my social worker, former one, explained why I couldn't get to the door. She'd have made it quite clear on the physical and bedbound. Can't walk, you see, at all. Can't use the left side of my body, you see. And this is how they treat people, eh? And that individual in the call centre said, oh, don't worry, we'll put the reason why she didn't get to the door onto their computer system. But unfortunately, the appointment's gone. It's gone to the fail to attend team. Never thought there was such a team. And then she was advised to give them a call back so that she could check up, see what's going on with my claim, and if I was going to be offered another appointment. She didn't hear nothing from them. When she did try to call them, and don't forget, she was going to leave a job by the 31st of the 10th, 2018. So that week, on that Monday, I got an email about all this. She called up again, Capita Business Service Limited, call centre in Darlington, United Kingdom. An individual, Myra, female this time, says to her, can't get into the computers, can't get into my case records or my PIC claim records because all their computers were down. Hold on. If all the computers were down, how come? Because if it's an IT computerized company, part of the Capita PLC, a global international computerized IT company, it didn't sound right. And then she was informed to call back the next week, or a few days. But she was leaving, as I said, the next few days. So she'd emailed, she said, she tried once more before she left on that day, the 31st of the 10th, 2018. I got an email in the evening before she left work to say she tried to call, and again a male called Hugh at Capita Business Service Limited, call centre individual, said they still can't get through and access my data and the PIP medical records, my records, to access what's going on. And her email to me claimed I'll pass it on to the care manager. Again, that female called Susan, I've never seen. Don't know she's cis. So I tried emailing her to update her to find out what's going on. Didn't get any response at all. I was left on my own with the situation. So that's when I didn't get response to my letter. So I'd put a requirement in, they call it a mandatory reconsideration. Well, that was the 14th. You see, I sent my paperwork to stop that individual coming around at 9:15 a.m. and they ignored that. Anyway, I sent, when I got a letter dated the 5th of November 2018 saying they're stopping my DLA because I failed to attend a PIT medical. You what? I didn't fail to attend nothing. Apparently, it turns out that individual outside my home, within 5 minutes, put on a computer systems in a car, witnessed by a neighbour. Don't know what she was doing, but was just telling me certain things since it all linked up. She put on a computer straight away that I failed to attend a pit medical. How evil is that? And it wasn't true. So I probably rebutted that by the 14th of the 11th, 2018. And I sought a reconsideration of that claim decision letter dated the 5th of 11th, 2018, stopping my benefits on that claim. I failed to attend. Well, I never had a response with additional medical reports as well, physical and psychological. And stating the facts, who else now to contact? Contact my GP's details as a phone number and email yet again, and also who the head of department is where this former social worker worked for, and stated I'm waiting for a replacement social worker. And that's just where the situation is. So I would require to be offered in the meantime, if it's able to, a paper pit medical due to the circumstances as well. And on top, I included the effects I'm experiencing, the overwhelming psychological distress and the risk to my mental health, and the effects of my mum dying and the trauma I can't cope alone face to face with anybody. They ignored all that too. By the 26th of the 2nd, 2019, I'd had this letter. I didn't know what a mandatory reconsideration notice was meant to include. I heard it's meant to be a full statement of reasons. So today, the 25th Monday, 2019 of March, after yesterday's all the evidence of emails, what was said, who was said to who and what by social workers, and the emails to me and co-copied into this sentence advised local individual, quite a lot of emails, content of fact. He'd emailed me this afternoon and I've been in shock, complete state of shock. Absolutely never, ever in a long time been like this. It hits you in the face when it proves that another pair of eyes, so to speak, that don't know you can see full well that I have been failed by the Department of Works and Pensions and lawfully discriminated against, and by Capital Business Services Limited. And the basis of the fact that the mandatory consideration claimed to be a notice on behalf of the Department of Works and Pensions wasn't a notice at all. He puts the fact that the details of why the decision had not been changed, reference to going back to 5th of the 11th, 2018. And he put down my right side, physical disabilities, my left side, the amount of carers and high support needs, and the mental health as well. The fact that he'd only got the paperwork because they couldn't offer me their service a home visit by females to help me with the paperwork and the calls, Capital Services Limited, and they only got there struggling to find services in my area to help me. He emphasised all this of that, and he put in that there's all these emails evidence to follow, and the details in the email on automatic computerized Ministry of Justice online appeal process where a computer will decide, not human individuals, whether or not she'll be granted that appeal. Because specifically, the mandatory reconsideration notice was not a notice in statutory law in line with the Welfare Reform Act 2012 and the Personal Independence Regulations 2013. My goodness me, what a setup. Unfortunately, he's put an email in and a phone number. I made it clear I can't cope with phone numbers, let alone respond to emails. And then he put that offer of a home visit, even by HMRC. Well, being such a shock today, I haven't been able to respond to him to correct that. And then a computerized email of the detailed what he put down in this in this appeal process or tribunal. And it's just triggered off, set me back. It's not what he's doing, it's because of the civil servants United Kingdom causing me the extreme distress psychologically, affecting my physical health. I've got 2 friends watching over me today, taking turns to keep an eye on me and just take my mind off things, you know. And all along, I've been vindicated. At the moment, anyway, by his factual evidence, seeing all those emails are evidence, and knowing and stating this fact at the last point. He's advised that I should have a formal complaint against Department of Works and Pensions Head Office and Clacton House, reference the Managing Director, of their failure and negligence. That's my word, basically, negligence. But the failures and the way I have been let down and treated. This is since April 2018 to date. It's been going on. And all the time, going through the pits of the death of my mum in hospital, reduction in my dental health. I don't know how I've been carrying on, I really don't, but I will keep carrying on somehow. I'll find a way, but I know what this means. I need to move. It might be in a temporary care home, and there might be a permanent placement like that. I'm not afraid, as my late mum would say. I need to be somewhere safe. I need to be properly cared for. My spiritual energy soul will carry on. I might not be physically well, and I'm not, and the triggers like this, you know, I will get there eventually. You know, I was sharing this experience as fact today. For all those out there that are struggling and think giving up, take a deep breath. It's extremely hard. Focus on the little things that you might help take your mind off it. If you do have the luck of family and good friends around you, God bless, be with you all. We're living in trying times, and if you are spiritual, I pray every day that this evil world and the way this United Kingdom, the civil servants, the high ranking, you know, not ordinary everyday workers, I'm talking about the management level and the political arena level, have no interest about those that high care needs and complex lives that no fault of their own. I like to think there might be a positive outcome in the longer term. I won't hold my breath, but for now I'm just sharing my evidence of fact. United Kingdom here, signing out on Monday of my truth of the first-hand knowledge of evidence, and I will keep carrying on. God bless, and don't let these corporations, individuals, employees dismiss you, because otherwise you'd just be another statistic where the Department of Work and Pensions will not own up to all those that's lost their lives because of all this. I will not, and I will try my best to keep going on. And that's what my mate mum would do. God bless. You take care, even though I don't know you.